And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. Yeah,
What's
you
good,
just
man?
went live on here. What's up, the flyby guys? You know you should mod them, right? And the regular people that come through. Big J's DJI experience. Hello from Spain. I'm sure everyone's getting your alerts right now. I haven't gotten it on my phone yet, but what's up, flyby guys? I saw your video you posted of that heart-shaped pond, and it was actually quite good. I like the cruising over the trees, even though I would like to do it a lot faster in FPV, but not from that height.
So, Lawrence, let me ask you now, the problem you had with Zoom, you still have that problem? Cleared up?
What do you mean with the split
As
screen?
far as the screen and
From what I'm looking at up here, I don't see it, but I see it split screen on in the actual chat. So I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know what's going
YouTube,
on.
it would be
What's up,
coming from how
Rob?
I
How
have
are
it.
you, sir? And welcome. I just got your alert, and I just got it to my phone.
Welsh Rob, what's good, man?
How are you guys out there? Time to fly. How are you, sir? And everyone here, let me go ahead and click that like button now. So I don't.
Stevie's still in the Stevie's still in the chat.
No, they left. They came in early and left.
Okay.
That's why once we do get this pre stream thing going, there's someone's going to have to monitor that. Which means more work. So actually, your 2-hour stream will turn into a 2.5-hour stream, unless you can.
Well, I was in the chat earlier when they came in. I don't know if they were still there or not.
No, I went to type hello to Classic and Stevie, and if you put the @ sign in the first 2 letters, they pop up. That's how you know they're in the chat or not. But the name did not pop up. So, what's up, Welsh Rob? Flyby guys, time to fly, and whoever else, you other lurkers out there, because we can see who's in the chat, and then we calculate between who's on the panel, and then we come up with our numbers when it says 10 are watching. So I don't mind you guys lurking. You know why? Because right now it shows 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Hey, what's up, Rob from Australia? Feet on the ground just popped in. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and someone else. Eat more possum. I'm looking at the participants list, and as they pop in, it's coming up in real time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, excluding us because we're doing the live stream. So technically 6 people are in the chat itself, and then we have another 2 more lurking outside the chat. I wonder who they are. Lurk. What's good, man? I mean, hold on.
Well,
I like this light better because this light makes me feel. See, now that Tom came in, that's what it is, Herman. The Zoom window, if it's 2 people,
that's how it's doing it to you.
Right. But I need to figure that out and fix that, because now I see Tom is camered up. He's still in makeup, I see. How are you, Rob? What's going on, man?
You know what it is? There's an issue.
On the ground says, "What's up, Herman?"
Well,
we're good.
Same old thing. I mean, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing my thing. I'm not liking the snow.
Yeah, I had to shovel today, man, because my wife has a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I literally had to chunk away at ice because it snowed a couple of days ago, and then today when we woke up, it was almost in single digits. So all of that snow that would have been soft, I was out there with the back of the hammer like a miner, king, with the damn ice. But it's good now, so she can pull out. And what's up, Tom?
Fuck the snow.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Because every day,
I'm so done with this.
Tom, every day that I plan to go out this week, the weatherman has said it's going to snow.
Yeah, hold on a second. I don't know if you guys understand how actually see how this works. You can see Tom before they do. You
Yeah.
understand? And when Tom says, "Fuck the snow," and then he comes into the camera because he's now broadcasting into the
Oh
the
no,
stream.
I saw him on cam. Oh, I get it.
No,
But they
it's
get the
how it
right.
broadcasts the show onto
Hey,
YouTube.
Desmond, lost hiker,
That's how
lost
he
girl.
It's yeah.
enters the show with "Fuck the snow."
Well, feet on the
Okay, so
ground says he welcomes the snow, and we're
well, let
saying,
me
oh,
explain.
you're
Let me
right.
explain snow. Okay, so snow is relative, right? Snow is beautiful where it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay, snow in an urban setting like New York City is never beautiful.
Mhm.
Maybe for the first 5 minutes when it
Agree.
falls from the sky, but then
Mhm.
when we add the crud of New York City to it, takes on a whole different look. Okay, so
It looks good
uh,
that first few hours, and then once they start shoveling it,
Mhm.
it turns murky
Mhm.
and gray, and
If there was a way it
What's
could
up, Eddie
fall
Nunez?
everywhere except for like on the sidewalk
Eddie,
and in the street,
I look,
I'd be
Here,
good.
here's my future outlook on snow. I want to visit it
Uh-huh.
when I want to see it.
Right.
Okay, I
Mhm.
don't want to wake up to it.
Mhm.
I don't want to go to sleep to it. Okay, unless that's my desire, and I
Hey,
definitely
Eddie,
don't want to snowblower it, shovel it, or
Eddie,
sweep it.
she's ready, Eddie. She's
Eddie
ready.
Liz, what's good, man? You know what, Tom? I was in Vegas a few years. Well, no, I shouldn't say it. Years ago.
Oh, it snowed there.
And
The
yeah,
city
it
shuts
was
down. They don't
snowing.
know what to do.
It
But
was
when it hits the
snowing.
ground, Herman, it it
It
evaporates.
turned to slush a little bit by the
Okay,
next
so
day.
up in the
El
mountains,
Smeghead.
you get snow up in the mountains, up in Mount Charleston.
Mhm.
You get a couple of feet of snow, and it's up there from September through, I would say, April, maybe March, April.
Mhm. What happened? You lost the camera?
But hold
Okay.
on, yeah, I should be back. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, too many alarms on this. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so I don't mind that. That's a 40-minute drive from Vegas.
Okay.
Of course, that's also 8,000 feet up. So it's white, it's powdery, fun for sledding, okay, and skiing.
Well, I don't know
It
when I
doesn't
was
need to be
there,
shoveled.
right on the strip, it was snowing.
Yeah, but it doesn't last. It doesn't. It's just like when it starts to rain hard there, people pull out of the left lane and start to pull
Mhm.
to the right. To me, that's an advantage. I'm a New Yorker. Okay. So,
All right.
but yeah, if I have to shovel it, I'm not having fun. That's all.
All
If I can
right.
just look at it, yeah, I won't. I wouldn't mind as much. Did you
I
see
mean, mhm.
Anthony out there had his was
Oh,
that
have
beast he has his
the
an
truck.
RC car?
Mhm.
He had that out in the snow. Yeah, that looks like a blast.
I mean, some people have
Running
good
up and
fun.
down the streets of New York.
What's this, Eddie? It just got.
Oh, Eddie, they're still holding your Mavic Pro 2 hostage?
Wow.
That's ridiculous,
What
dude.
was wrong with it?
They're saying the circuit board now,
Thank
he
you,
sent
Eddie.
it in for
I
something
was
else.
muted. Thank you so much. All you hear is, but
He
yeah, I
sent it.
unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I didn't
You were
even
muted?
notice
I didn't
because
know that.
I had the other screen up. So when Herman was talking, he was on the screen. I just switched over to gallery. But yeah, he had sent it in for some other damage, and they're trying to hit him up for a circuit board also now. $780.
Well, they got to make up for some of that money they wasn't getting
Eek.
from the states. That's how I see it. But
Yeah,
Eddie's,
they're going to be
I
getting a
would
lot of
think
money
that
from
Eddie
us.
takes care of his equipment. So if they say it's a board, they want to replace the core board for 385 plus 120 labor. Damn.
Tap on my $120 for labor. Ain't that something? Yeah.
Wow.
First off, just pull another one out of the box and send it to him. Will you already?
And you know that's what they're going to do.
That's all they're gonna do.
They have
They're
a
gonna
pile
tell him
of
they're gonna
fixed ones.
replace it, and he's gonna see a different serial number on the return.
They have a pile of fixed ones, and then they have,
Yeah,
you know, the ones
yeah. I
that
don't
they
mind the
want to
fixed
fix.
one as long as you're gonna warrant it. I don't have a problem with the fixed one, but then again, it's more likely they're gonna look to hit him in the pocket if he pays the ransom. He's going to get a drone back with a different serial number on it. It's like them swapping out your kids if they kidnap them,
Explicit, how are you, sir? Mr. FPV. Eat more possum. We
As God,
appreciate
how
you
are you,
guys
man?
that come through. Lost Girl, all of you guys that come through, guys and gal that come through on a regular, we highly, highly appreciate it.
Good evening,
Hopefully,
everyone.
hopefully this summer will be better than last year, because last year I spent most of the summer in the house. This summer I need to get out. Like, I need to maiden flight this bird here. And like I said, every day this week that I had planned to go flying, they have scheduled to snow.
Well, you'll be all right.
And she's not waterproof. I'm ready for spring. Yeah, I hear you, Explicit. And if I had some, see, my problem with waterproofing my birds is conformal coating is very, very toxic and smelly. And I already have a respiratory issue, COPD. So what happens is, if you walk past me with too much perfume, you could choke me out. So imagine conformal coating, which you have to use outside.
Do it outside with a fan.
He says he's negotiating weekly with a manager. Have to repeat everything from the beginning, like the rinse, wash, repeat, and then yeah. We get it. We get it. Well, listen, you will get your stuff back. It's like Tom said, they're holding it hostage.
You know what? Start hashtagging DJI support on every negative thing you can say about the experience you're having. And maybe DJI marketing will pick up on it and kick somebody in the rear. It's the only way I got my batteries replaced with that.
You know what, Tom? That's very true, because I did that on Amazon, and I wrote something nasty about the vendor. I had asked one of those anemometers, that read the air. You hold it up, a little fan.
Yeah.
And they sent it to me to dead out the box. And I left a nasty review. Well, not nasty, but I said, if you buy from this vendor, you're as stupid as I was for even getting it from him. And Amazon contacted me. The vendor contacted me and said, will you please take your review down? I said, I'll take my review down when I get my money back, or one that works. So not only did Amazon give me my money back, but the company sent me a new one, which shortly they died afterwards. So I just left a review up.
He's a central kazoo.
Yeah, the latest scam that's going on out there, and you got to be really careful, is these envelopes that are showing up from Amazon. And they're not actually Amazon, they're marketplace accounts, and they got nothing in it, or they got a piece of crap in it.
Those bubble wrap.
And what happens is, then they put up phony reviews using your contact information, because they can't put up a review. They can't put up a verified purchaser review unless something gets shipped to that address. And so they ship just crap. I mean, utter garbage.
So you just receive a package out of nowhere?
You receive a package out of nowhere, and inside could be a packet of seeds. Don't plant them, because you don't know what kind of invasive species of seed that is. Or some piece of really, really cheap jewelry that has really no value. Even skeet ball tickets are worth more than the jewelry they send you.
Good one, Eddie.
But you just got to stay on it. You got to be careful with that stuff, and you throw that stuff away, man. And report it to Amazon. If it's happening to you a lot, report it to Amazon.
You have to report everything. Don't try and contact a third party. You leave a
server.
You leave a
I get an email from
on them, and then you contact Amazon and say, what 3-ring circus are you getting your stuff from? And I've done it more than once because now a lot of people don't notice, but Amazon is starting to get stuff from overseas. So what they do is they say, if you order this phone, you can have this phone tomorrow. So you add something else to your cart, and they say you can have all your packages tomorrow. And because this comes from some third world country or something, they'll say your phone is coming tomorrow, but your other part of the package won't be here for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's misleading when you're paying for Prime. This, which means basically you need to do your research and check the vendors. If it doesn't say Prime next day delivery, it's probably from a third party, and it'll take anywhere from 3 days to a week to get to.
But just you got to pay attention to the shopping cart when you're checking out. You really got to pay attention to see how it's coming, where it's coming from. But look, there. I got a text message 2 days ago. It was just a text message from a 6-digit, 3-digit hyphen 3-digit that said Amazon account compromised. Click here. No, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. But I also get on a regular basis, I get somebody spoofing my server company one-on-one, telling me, and everything looks legit except the address. Keep your head information visible. Okay. So you can see what is presented, okay, is not the actual address. If you keep your header information visible, you'll see it's a different address. Or hover over the link that's in the email and take a look at it, and you'll notice it's not going anywhere near your server company. Okay? And if you ever get contacted by any of these entities that you think you're a member of or buy services from, then don't go through links in the email. Go to the actual website and log in.
Right. If you have to question whether you're a member of this place or not, more than likely you're not.
People on the job constantly clicking on stuff.
I don't really answer much in email.
It's never ending. The spoofing, the phishing accounts and the spoofing that happens. I mean, our requirement is if you get phished or hacked, okay, you got to take some training. And then what we do is we send out, phony phish attacks across the agency to see who bites. And we now have a policy, regardless of rank or status, you're taking the mandatory 2-hour, cybersecurity briefing.
You see what Big J put? He used to deliver for Amazon in the UK, and many times I've had empty boxes on delivery.
Yeah.
And it's who they look at, the delivery guy. You're working honestly, and you have no idea there's a rock in the box.
Right. Well, they have no control over that. They just know we ship. I mean, he's got to deliver it.
Yeah,
it's just funny how somebody would go through that kind of trouble just to scam someone.
Click that like button.
Oh
guys,
no, there's big money in that. I
do. I know that.
Right? Don't kid yourself.
That's I met a guy. A
scam is a scam is a scam. It's an easy way to $1.
I met a guy that bought something off of eBay and got a rock in the box.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. If he was lucky, he even got the rock. Okay.
I prefer.
Well,
I prefer Lawrence. He gives us regulars a blue spanner and the blue name. Oh,
send out 1,000.
Hey, Marcel.
Phishing emails, and the percentage you get back is embarrassing. Okay. And so there's $1 to be made, and it's a quick buck to be made. So there's 20 people lined up to try to make it on you. So you got to be careful. My mother-in-law several years back, she called me and she said, these nice people helped me with my computer today. And I was like, who's that? The Geek Squad? Did you go to Best Buy? She goes, no, this thing popped up on my computer and I called the number. And then they helped me clear up everything on my computer. And I went, did you use a credit card? Oh, yeah. Okay. We called the bank.
You got to cancel
froze the credit card right away. And
file a
sure
complaint.
enough, they tried to hit her up for about $600-700. So,
well, Tom, they're still trying to give me, to renew my car insurance when I don't.
Well, if it's not car insurance, it's it's maintenance, right? It's a
No,
maintenance
no,
plan on your
you're right.
vehicle.
It's car maintenance, but mostly it's car insurance.
Dude, I drive a lease vehicle. I drive a few leases, right? And we don't pay for maintenance. But I get at least 3 of those calls a day. Okay. So, and there's no way you can block to your heart's content. There is no way to work. They just got to crack down on it and really go after it. There are ways to reverse track these. In fact, there's some great YouTube you can watch. There's this one guy that really does some great work as far as setting up a virtual environment that the hackers log into. And while they're doing that, he's doing some reverse magic there. I won't give away everything.
Hey, Drone Psych.
And he's got a few organizations that work with him, and he actually has found ways to tie into some of these call centers to tie into their video cameras, and then over a series of months work to identify the actual players, by how the calls come in and who they're being picked up by, because he can watch several cameras at the same time. So, and usually, the other occupants of the building don't know that this operation is going on. But you see some of these neighborhoods, really, really poor neighborhoods, but there's a telephone pole with like 600 lines coming into it. Okay. So, something's up. But, yep, gotta love YouTube.
No, but you remember we had announced that they were setting up an TFR for the Super Bowl, and we had given out a list of areas and times and stuff that they were going to be setting up in different places, the TFR throughout that week.
Yep.
That weekend of the Super Bowl. And we said it was going to happen, and lo and behold,
every year.
Lo and behold, as it was a thing in Aero News Network.
Yeah.
That the Office of the United States Attorney Maria Chapo Lopez has confirmed filed criminal complaint charging an individual. I won't say the guy's name.
His name is Henry. That's it.
He's a 33-year-old young man from Orlando.
I thought you were going to say 5 borough. Oh, good. Orlando. Okay, good.
Jab.
No, with violating national defense airspace. Now, if he is convicted of this, he can serve up to 1 year in federal prison for this.
I'd hate to be in federal lockup.
I know.
This is the charge.
Now,
what are you in for?
There were 3 confiscations. There were 3 confiscations, I believe, that weekend. But they had, I saw another article about there were like at least 70.
No, altogether
like that.
Okay, 47 confirmed incursions and 33 additional incidents. Okay. So,
wow.
Yeah, but keeping it interesting.
Yeah, well, hey, this is ridiculous. But,
and you gave a few people some practice. That's good.
Well, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, you gave some of those counter UAS people some good practice there. So
yeah, they sure did, because the fact that he was actually flying over a park where they were having what is it,
Super Bowl festivities,
Julian B. Lane Waterfront Park, which was
it's the whole area right there by the stadium.
Right. So
they were having the Super Bowl experience.
But what I don't get is he figured if he flew over the park to catch the event, they would leave him alone because he was.
It was still a no-fly zone.
No,
didn't matter.
Like but they put, furthermore, Henry flew his drone over people and moving vehicles. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it's not the new rule hasn't been released yet. He can't do that.
Yeah.
We don't even know, is it a category 1 or a category 2
until it's in writing
drone?
It's not in stone.
We don't know.
Basically, it's all alleged. This is what he's been charged with, and it's all up with it. Well, this case here, it'll probably take about a year or so.
So Drone Psych says Martha Stewart only served 5 months in prison. Believe me, if this guy gets a year in federal for this offense, he's likely only to do 4 to 5 months himself.
And also,
okay?
I have to point out, Martha Stewart wasn't in your average prison.
10.
She was in some cozy place with a television and cable,
Place he's going.
access to a cell
Same
phone.
type of place he's going.
You know, look,
He's a non-violent.
Eddie.
He's a non-violent felon.
Eddie has a public service concern. He believes there's a new flu in New York City. He believes it's called the orange fever. Yes, I believe a few people have that. Okay,
The orange fever, there is. Eddie, you're right.
Yeah, I think
monkey see, monkey
a
do.
few people, and I'm wondering if anybody else in the crowd here has an understanding of other than those on the panel here, what he's referring to. So for you New York Facebook group followers, we'll leave it at that. Apparently, the Ortel orange pumpkin, flying pumpkin, is like the best thing since sliced moldy white bread.
Okay.
You know, with that 6K camera and all, it's just amazing. And we've completely discredited the Mavic 2 Pro at this point, which I find hard to even take. I mean, the Mavic 2 Pro is an amazing camera platform.
And all owners of the Great Pumpkin
now, who has done that?
were Mavic 2 Pro flyers. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes. Yeah.
How easily we change.
It's like walking down the street with the hottest chick on your arm, and another chick walks by, and you have to turn around and look, right? Okay.
Yeah. Or the chick you're with is looking also.
Okay. Well, that's a different story, bro. We won't go down. That's a different stream. We're not going to cover here.
This is true.
On a different night, but you know, you gotta learn how to take it all in as you're walking to
now.
Yeah.
Now, Eddie.
Yeah, you can't be turning your head, Herman.
Now, Eddie.
To wear sunglasses always work well.
We do know there is an orange flu here in New York. It's called the Ortel 6K flu. My question is, out of how many people that own that Great Pumpkin, how many of them have the PC power to process 6K? I'm pretty sure most of them are still converting stuff down to 4K.
But you know, look, the virtue of 6K is real simple.
Aren't you glad you don't
can cropping?
Florida?
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcel. You can, Marcel. you can crop. You know, that's a nice feature of it. But are you releasing 6K video? No. Are you? And honestly, we all release 4K video. What is our video watched in? Okay, 720 to 1080, the majority of the time.
True.
Unless Anthony asks you, please go up to YouTube and watch it in 4K.
Eddie goes, oh no, we have the iPhone 6 to go with it.
No, they have it now on these new phones.
Ariel
can get it, and a lot of people are watching on television now. When you look at the analytics, you see the people are watching on television.
Starting. It's still most is consumed at the mobile. Most. Okay. Most is still consumed on an iPad, an iPhone, and you know I'm an Apple guy, so I didn't mention that other stuff.
Show says last night I was looking at the prices for the Ortel Evo and decided I like to eat. Listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. You know what? But see, there's an underlying reason why a lot of people have orange fever. And it's not so much the 6K. It's not so much the 6K camera. It's what Ortel promises that it can do under certain flight restrictions. And there's where I have a problem. Because if you're buying the bird because you want to see 6K footage and you have a computer to handle a 6K, more power to you. But if you buy a 6K drone and your computer can only play 1080 or barely 4K, you're keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, if you're using it for business purposes, okay. If you're using it,
you know, it's just the funny stuff. Look, it's like, okay, now this is out. Let's bash the Mavic 2 Pro. There's no reason to bash the Mavic 2 Pro.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the Mavic 2 Pro. It's
like I said, everyone who has the orange flu used to fly one.
For the most part, yeah, you're right. Okay. But you know, it price tag wise, you accessorize, you can accessorize the hilt out of it. You're going to pay about $2,000, okay, for some batteries and stuff. So you're comparable to the Mavic 2 Pro, but one thing it's definitely lacking is something like a feature that you can only get on the DJI side right now, the smart controller. So I'm a big fan of the smart controller.
Big Mac.
But look,
yeah.
Not to put it down. It's just like, look,
it's a great bird.
It's like,
Evo?
Canon comes out with this series camera and Nikon comes out with that series camera. This, I guess you can have a preference. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, like this. I don't bash the Evo. I mean,
they make
I like the
nice
drone.
bird.
I like the drone. I wouldn't tell any, and I never had a problem with the fact that the drone had had come geofenced, that you could take off almost anywhere with this drone. I didn't have a problem with that. I think guys had more of an issue with the fact that DJI does it and they're not doing it. I think look,
it's called liability.
No, I understand that, and I totally understand what DJI
is smart to do it.
No, but what I'm saying, as far as the guys who bash the Autel for that function or that feature, I think is that they're more so upset with the fact that DJI does it and they don't.
Yeah,
I'm not disputing that. Look, I think it's a necessary evil to survive as a company, especially when you're a company like DJI that has all that focus on you.
Oh no, okay. I totally understand that. I mean,
you're the king of the hill to take down. You're always going to be the target, right?
Right. That wasn't even the issue of it. It's like guys will talk bad about the Evo because of the fact that it's not geofenced. And like I said, I think that that's more so about the fact that your DJI drone is and that one isn't.
Right.
That's what I think that's more about.
Yeah.
But as far as the drone is concerned and being able to process the 8K or whichever one you bought, 6K video, I mean, that's mainly in a lot to have to do with your processor and whatever
also
Kodaks
also
you're using, stuff like that.
Don't edit 4K video natively. Don't edit 8K video. Don't edit 4K, 6K, 8K. Use proxies. Learn how to use proxies. Okay. I see a couple comments in here. Somebody's computer smokes whenever they try to edit their 4K. I agree with you. If you want a good experience, learn how to leverage proxies. Proxies are small files. You can edit seamlessly with them. You can see when you add your transitions, what's going on. You don't have that stuttering. And then when you output and render, you render in full res.
Tom, you're going to confuse them.
No, there's no confusing. Look it up. Look it up.
The guys that are editing knows what he's saying.
Yes. There's something. And if you don't know what I'm saying.
Never mind. I'll stay quiet.
If you don't know what I'm saying, okay. Well, the Asgard, I use the Premiere Pro proxy workflow. Absolutely. Okay. Look, if you don't know what I'm saying, go up on YouTube. Okay, spend a little while, learn about proxies. Basically, all you're doing is you're using a substitute file. Okay.
Babajo, welcome.
A lower res substitute
those guys,
file.
But agreed.
Okay, and you turn around and you do all your editing, which is a heck of a lot less frustrating that way because you're using lower res files. And then when you go to render, it swaps out those files for the high res files.
Yes.
Okay, and you get what
with all your modifications.
Right. And today, if basically you're trying to edit 4K and above video on something with less than 8 cores, you're going to struggle. Okay.
Matt says
you got it.
His computer eats 6K for breakfast.
I love you a long time, Matt. You gotta look, you're going to pay for it, right? You're going to pay for it in a graphics card. You're going to pay for it, but you have to make sure you're using it properly and you have to have the right chipset. Okay. And it's like anything else. That's where you're going to keep up. These things turn out to be hard drive killers too. So you need the storage capability.
Well,
you got to make sure. You got to make sure your OS and your SCRAC drives aren't the same physical device. You know, you gotta take a lot of steps to really have a good experience.
Stevie, I sent it.
Okay,
In
especially now
retrospect to what Errol,
where you're gonna go. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. I was just answering as far as aerial landscape. He says, all right, he was interested in going in FPV, but he doesn't want to get into the builds or wait for the DJI unit. Well, we have a story and a few other people pertaining to DJI. I've played the build it
You
yourself
want
game
instant
in the past,
gratification? We're gonna give it.
and after a while it gets old. There will be a time where you can buy and there is a time right now today where you can buy a complete FPV set, goggles, the bird, the controller, and all you have to do is buy the batteries. The problem is
ready to fly.
If you break this bird right here, I put a decent amount of money into this bird. The problem is,
like the
if I dent up one of these motors,
what's up, Paul? I like Paul.
If I dent up one of these motors, hey Paul,
what's up,
what I do is
What's
I
up, man?
buy another motor and I rewire it, have it rewired or rewire it myself. Now, if I send this bird out to somebody to repair, it's going to cost the price of an FPV bird just to replace this motor. So to get into the fixing part of the game, you might want to do a little something to it.
That's
What's up, Stevie?
They charge so much.
Good, I'm good.
To place.
Turn your gain down a little bit. You're a little louder than everyone else.
All right, hold on. How do I do that now?
Oh, see, you added some bass to your voice.
Yeah.
You want to sound like you did on the other live or remember?
That was so funny. It was at 44 and
right there.
That's good.
Yeah, Stevie.
Yeah, that's good
Stevie,
right there.
Just a little more, Stevie, because when Ray gets on, we're all going to get blasted. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll put the headphones down a little bit.
you gotta pull them off right away. Okay.
Yeah,
you'll see my earbuds go flying.
Talking about DJI. Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying, Stevie?
No, saying that you're forced to learn so much when you start messing around with live streams and all this other stuff, adjusting things. I never really messed with this stuff. So when I jumped on that other interview, for some reason, the mic setting changed from 44. It was like a 44 split to 16 instead of 48. And the computer was set at 48. So I sounded like a chipmunk the whole interview.
Yeah.
The whole interview.
You know what's the one thing I learned, Stevie, about some of these things? Don't touch nothing.
I know. All you have to do is press one little thing without noticing. There's so many buttons on this mic.
Don't touch nothing.
It's a nightmare.
It was funny though. It was hilarious.
Leave it.
Me and my son were listening to it and we was cracking up, like tears, like laughing. It was all good.
So you mentioned somebody worrying about not wanting to have to wait for the DJI FPV drone, right? Well, Herman, what did you just send me?
Well, I sent you an article that you were the one that brought it to my attention. I started digging and I found some videos that there people were doing some reviews on some things where they had air systems and stuff like that. But I also sent you a picture that I sent to Lawrence from earlier. What day was that? I sent you that picture yesterday.
Yesterday.
On the talking about this thing is supposed to be released very soon. Now, some of the things I've been hearing about the DJI digital FPV system, I've heard talk about release even as Friday, but
you have to enable
March 2nd.
Enable
March
sharing
2nd right now.
We were all talking about the fact that we weren't looking to see this thing until after the Chinese New Year.
Here we go.
But there's pre-orders right now. This is what we do know. Pre-orders right now for the goggles, the new goggles.
Right here.
And I've seen the pre-order for the new goggles for what's they're going for.
This unfortunately I can't read Chinese, but they do have pre-orders. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, and if you're on Twitter, but Billy Kyle had a pair of the goggles on. And he doesn't fly FPV yet, but I got a feeling we'll see him with a bird sooner or later.
If you go to Flight Path,
I didn't see that. Where was that?
He has the goggles as well.
Yes.
Well, it's hard to discern these goggles, guys, from the V1s. Okay, well, they're not actually V1s; they're the DJI FPV goggles. These carry a designation of V2, but physically, when you're looking at them, they look almost identical.
Yeah,
It'd
pretty
be hard
much.
to tell them apart. Yeah,
They do, except for the fact in this picture, it looks like,
That's a little
now
different.
maybe because this is a display model, but if you look here, this section is grayed out when most of the goggles are black. So maybe that's a replaceable front plate.
again, it's
They
a
are
bad image of an
Yes.
image of an image.
All right,
So
if you saw
you
the
know.
video that I sent you, the video the last video that I sent you, the guy that did that video, he did have some replacements that looked like they were antennas for this thing.
Yeah. You can get, from what I understand, the antennas, everyone's trying to come out with their own third-party antennas because you want your stuff on DJI. Because if your stuff is selling with DJI, you're going to make a little bit of money. And my only problem is, oh, here it is. I was like, where the hell is that video? I have a video of the drone itself and the strange startup noise.
Yeah, it has a weird startup noise. Yeah.
Now I'm going to try and play it. When I share right here, it says share computer sound. Let's click that. And let me turn it up a little. Hold on a second and hit play.
Yeah, he says the V2s won't support the 1200 watt FCC hack as of now.
It almost sounds like a transformer.
Yeah, it does sound like a transformer.
Yeah, baby.
I like that sound. It's different.
I just chubbed.
It's different.
Yeah.
So there's a very strong possibility. Well, they're going to be different. DJI is different, and we all know this.
Now, you also have some pictures there of the battery that they were showing.
Yeah, that was weird. That battery looks huge.
That's what it was kind of
weird.
weird.
Where the hell are you? Where is that?
These are right here. Actually, it's
or
the battery looks huge because
maybe
of the
it's a kid's hand that's holding the battery.
Well,
okay,
actually, that's
but
a plug.
That looks like a chunk.
This is a plug-in for the battery. This is where the battery will actually plug in, and down here is the on and off button. Billy Kyle had a picture, and it actually only looks like it's about 3.5, 4 inches. The battery. For those of you who can't see my hand, he held something.
I know what 3.5, 4 inches is.
He likes the size of the battery, which was also letting us know that he has the set right there with him. You know,
I'm sorry, it still looks big, but again, that could be relative. Okay, so you see the controller next to it, so it still looks big sitting next to that controller next to it, right?
And you got to remember this also. DJI is infamous for shooting an object this big.
But
with the camera
can you put that photo back? Put that photo back up again. There's something curious.
The battery?
The one with the battery. Something just stuck out at me right there.
Hold on. Give me a second right here. I just wanted to have it. Let me cut off computer sound so you guys.
Yeah, there's.
Right there you go.
So Lawrence.
He's up there. He's up there, Los Rob. Okay. He's up there.
Why am I still hearing that sound? Someone else is playing it?
Oh, maybe.
You have the window open?
Oh, that's what it is.
So
that's what it is. I have to mute it. I'm hearing.
Okay, go back. Do me a favor. Go back where you just showed the battery. Go. Stop it right there. Guys, that is not the controller that's destined to be released with the
No, it's not.
DJI FPV drone. So,
no, you're absolutely right. I'm just saying that these are batteries that they will put in that whole.
That looks more like that controller sitting there looks like an Inspire controller.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the little button,
like Ascendance.
the silver button.
But no, because the Ascendance is a lot more. I don't know. That's what is that controller?
Well, I'm thinking if you look at the picture here,
is that an Obsidian controller?
I believe this is a Ronin geared type camera. So I think they're trying to give you a size comparison because you also have extra lenses here in the background.
That's definitely a lens.
you know,
Oh
so
yeah. No, that
Yeah.
stuff in the background, I've discounted that. I'm just talking about the controller next to it.
yeah, but you
That's
right,
not Ascendance. That's not even Ascendance controller next to it. Would that be a Phantom 4 Obsidian controller? That was the one that came
that's a possibility because
grayed out, right?
the tip of the camera, right, the tip of the antenna right here is flat.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. I
Yeah.
could not.
Yeah.
That's only my speculation.
But that battery
But the buttons
looks
are on the
large,
flat.
and from the images of the
Let me
DJI
go to.
FPV
Let me
drone,
see.
it looks
Well, you
that is
guys
Ascendance. So Eddie's saying, yeah, that is Ascendance
go ahead.
remote.
While
No,
you
Welsh
guys
Rob,
look at that, I'm going
that
to
is
find
Ascendance
Billy
remote.
Kyle's Twitter
Yeah, that
because he has a
Welsh Rob,
picture
every
of it.
day's a new adventure. Welsh Rob, don't worry. Okay,
See
and
on
better living
Now,
through
what's going
chemistry.
on with Rob?
on
No,
that,
Here
he
it
just
is.
made
I got it.
some
I got
inappropriate
it, guys.
offhanded comments about me. That's all.
Right
No,
here.
I'm only kidding. I'm only
Tom?
kidding. We're just bantering back and forth.
This
That's
is the
all.
battery for the goggles right here.
Wait, that's the battery. Okay,
That's
that's the
the
battery
battery.
for the goggles.
Yeah.
Billy
I saw
Kyle
That
that.
makes
has
more sense.
Billy Kyle has the goggles right here, and this is the actual battery that he posted today on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Instagram.
It might have been one of the two.
He put it on his Instagram page as well. If he
Yeah,
did it on Twitter, it was
okay.
on both.
But this is the, like I said, it's about 3 to 4 inches long, the battery. And according to these goggles right here, the battery
That's Ascendance
possibly
remote.
fits
Yeah.
on the strap. So I'm just
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Battery on drone.
He said he sent you the photo, Tom.
Yeah, I got it. That's Ascendance remote. I see it, Eddie. Yeah. So we're not talking about the headset, the goggles. I'm talking about that. If that's the FPV battery, not
Yeah.
the one that Billy was just showing, but the previous one.
That would make
where
sense.
where does that chunk go? I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was.
it looks
curious
to
about.
be all. Then that means that FPV drone is all battery.
It is.
Aren't
Hold
they?
on. I'll show
It's
you
all
right
battery.
here.
Aren't
Hold on,
they?
Tom.
It's just
It
a little
could
Holy
be
head on it.
cow.
very high
So is it-
possibility that it is. Look at the back end of this. Look at the back end right here.
Yeah,
It's
all
about
battery
3-4
back.
inches, which means the battery could easily plug into the top. I doubt if they're going
I
to
gotta
put a plug
see
on
it.
the bottom, but
Gotta
you see
see
what
it.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I can't
Well, I
blow this
got what you're
picture up
saying, Mark.
anymore.
I don't like going by that. I mean, we've seen much better
Yeah.
images of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a photo of somebody's screen and not a very good one.
Yeah.
So,
It's the one
you
that's
know.
been
Eddie's saying the battery
Yeah,
goes
the one
underneath.
second.
running around the internet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Under the belly.
I'm thinking, where else can it go? I mean, the size of that, just the girth of that battery, I couldn't see it going in from
It's a
behind.
2S battery. Now, see
Yeah.
right there.
No. There's no way that's a 2S battery. You're talking about maybe a 2S battery for the goggles?
Yes, that's a possibility. Yes.
Yeah, but remember, with the V2, the filing on the V2 said the battery range could go as high as 6S.
He said the
Where you
rubber.
can't really run the original ones on anything higher than a 4S. I know.
All right.
I think Eddie was running them
We go
on a
back.
6S, but didn't realize that was.
If we go back
That
to
was
this
risky.
picture, you
Mhm.
see right here are feet, right there, outside the power button.
Right.
So, which means if the battery stands vertically, fits into the drone vertically, I could see it sitting on the battery.
And plugs right to the back.
And where I said it plugs in at the top of the drone, that's this
The
area
back
right
rear
here.
of the drone, top back rear of the
Yes.
drone
Yes.
is where it would plug into.
Yes.
And you think those feet are physical feet
For
where
drone
the
to sit
drone
on.
will rest on those.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. It's better
He
than
said the goggle
hell out of
batteries
battery.
is a 3S.
Is a 2 to 3S, right?
Oh.
It's possibly a 2 to 3S. Now, the bird, like Eddie says, will run from
Yeah, it's got it.
4 to 6S.
These
So I'm
batteries.
The
guessing that
goggles.
they're going
The
to come out.
goggles.
Well, the only information
You're thinking
I have on battery
you think they're
is
going
the
to
battery
release
life
different
for the
types
goggles.
of batteries?
They're going to have to, because they did say it will run from 4 to 6S. Not everybody's going to go out there and buy a 6S battery. When I first started flying, hey, Jackson RC, when I first started flying, believe it or not, with 3S. Then I went to 4S. Now I'm on 6S, and they're all different sizes. Now, for it to fit into the drone itself, it may have one standardized size,
Right.
but the power voltage will be completely different.
When we start
So
getting
El Schmeghead says he
yeah.
hasn't found anybody that's going to buy it.
Well, I mean, if you're
well, I'm
you're
probably
gonna
getting
get
in
those
with the
batteries.
6S just to let you know.
2S for the
because I want time in the sky.
well,
but
El Schmeghead,
look,
that's a possibility. 2S to 3S for the goggles, because my goggles can run 3S or 4S batteries, my regular goggles. So I could see that they do that in FPV. Why don't they come out with one standard battery? I don't know. But in FPV, my standard goggles, they say it can run on 3S, recommended 4, and if you put a 5S in, it'll fry it.
Well, Lawrence, on drone reviews and news, they only give 110-minute battery life on it. They don't tell you what type of battery.
How long? How long?
110 minutes.
110 minutes on what? Wait a second. Where am I flying in 110 minutes?
No, the battery.
Oh boy, we're gonna get in real
on the
trouble with this one.
goggles.
No, the
Battery
battery
on the goggles.
life.
The battery
Oh,
life.
the battery will run
on the
110
goggles.
minutes on the goggles. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Jeez, I was now looking at these whole
no,
stream of
it's
new
not on the-
endurance videos that would come out. Man, I went
No. Not on the drone
67,000
battery.
feet on a single battery. You know. Yeah. Okay. Good.
And so I went down somewhere over Cleveland.
Look, I think it's going to work this way, right?
I went down to Cleveland.
I think what might happen here is, like you said, there might be a couple of different versions of the battery, maybe for the drone, where if you're using it as a camera platform, then you're going to go for the higher capacity battery, so you can spend more time in the sky. And I guess if you're going to be FPVing it, you'll go for the lower.
Well, actually,
you have battery.
You have it a little reverse. You would have the lower power for cinematic flying and the higher power.
Oh, because I'm going to be less active.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That's usually.
I'm putting less stress on the bird by. Gotcha. Okay. I'm still getting the 6S. Can stay up there longer. Okay. Just saying. And yes, by the way, El Schmeghead, there are some people who are going to buy.
Well, Asgard, you can see the DJI digital.
It is what it is. I'll wear it.
Future.
DJI fanboy.
I want to point this out, though. I want to point this out specifically, and Eddie Nunez can kind of confirm this, and any other FPV pilot. And I'm going to point this out. When you start flying FPV, whatever you do start on, by the time you get good at it, won't be enough. In other words, like I started out on a 3-cell and a 4-cell, and now I'm on 6-cell. Well, anything higher than 6-cell, you have to combine batteries. And I know people that are flying with 2 6-cell batteries, 2 5-cell batteries, because they need that power and that speed to break 100 miles an hour. Now, you can break 100 miles an hour with a 6-cell, but you're not going to do it for long.
But both
these are things you have to take into account with FPV. Right, show goes more power,
But both Ken said that real FPV pilots will not like the new DJI drone, the FPV.
Yeah,
drone.
and this is what I wanted to point out, Stevie. For those of you who are considering,
but we'll see.
But for those of you who are considering getting the DJI system and have never flown FPV before or flown analog, you won't notice the difference. But me coming from analog will notice that there's a difference in distance.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the flying?
What happens is with DJI system, instead of getting snow like you do in analog and the picture phases out, with DJI, and you could look it up on YouTube, DJI FPV distance test. The picture digitizes and sort of turns into like Minecraft, where everything turns into boxes. Then the picture freezes and it does not come back unless your bird has returned to home or whatever, GPS rescue or whatever. Now with analog, your picture will get fuzzy. You will see lines across the screen.
It'll start dropping out on you before it completely goes out.
But the picture does not drop out fully. Where DJI, the picture is frozen, and I've seen videos where people had to do the walk of shame. And
that's the same thing with your camera drones.
But
that's how digital is. It's either
exactly. But like I said, if you've never flown analog, DJI would be perfect for you because you won't know any better. Now, for me to go from flying analog, which I love, I would love a digital system. But when I go behind a building, I don't want my my video to go do a max headroom and lock up on me until I come from around the building. Whereas analog, the picture will get snowy, but I'll still be able to see and I'll still be able to come from behind the object. So
Now you're
it's personal
saying,
preference.
now you're saying with digital right now, I'm not talking about the new drone that's coming out. With a digital system with DJI,
Anything
if you
digital,
fly around and you get yourself behind a building and lose signal, the picture will frame, the frame
picture
will
will freeze up,
freeze, right?
Freeze it.
But
you
this is
won't
my
know
question.
where the hell you are.
And the drone will just drop, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It'll, as
No.
long as you control it,
You
it'll still be up. You just
still
have no
throttle
visual.
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
You still have
You
throttle
still have control.
Yes.
But that's useless because you don't even know what direction or whatever you're going into something, right?
Okay, I have the
Well,
perfect
think
video.
about okay, unless you're
Then when you lose control, it
I have-
situational awareness, unless
Yes.
you're flying under something, the next thing I'm going to do is ascend. Okay, that would be my normal. Unless I'm
Right.
flying under an
Right.
obstruction or was approaching something, I was going to
But-
try
but
to
you're
fly
doing,
under.
you're
I would
doing so
ascend.
blindly.
Right,
and try to get signal back.
right, but
But-
Stevie.
But
in
then again,
answer-
yeah, but you're doing so right now, Stevie. If you lose and you happen to just, and I know it happens rarely, Stevie, but you just happen to step out of line of sight because
I don't know what that
well
means.
things came
Happens
together at the
rarely.
wrong time. Right, exactly.
No, I'm just saying.
The
I'm
same
just
thing
saying,
happens
I
on
let
your
go of the
screen, right?
control. I let go of the
No, no,
controls and I adjust
but
myself.
Stevie,
that
that's-
drone is gonna sit there. See, with FPV,
Yeah, but that's the same
you got to
thing
kind of
here, too.
land. You got to land blindly. That's what I'm saying. You
As a
have
pure
to.
Well-
FPV. If we're talking about the DJI FPV,
That's what I'm talking about. DJI.
no, it's going to stay up in the air. We're
Well,
not talking about the
yeah.
old system, Stevie. We're
No, I'm
talking
talking
about what's coming
now.
out.
But that was my
What's
question.
coming out?
I'm
The
talking
new
about
one
now.
coming out.
I'm talking about
The
right
new
now.
one coming out.
No. I'm talking about right now. If I
The
had a
previous
DJI
unit?
system, that's what I started the question as.
Stevie, I'll give
right
you the
now.
perfect example. If you
It'll fall
remember
out
the
of the sky.
video that
It'll
I
fall out the
shot,
sky.
the video that I shot at Pilgrim, where me, Justin, I was flying, they have the two towers that people fly in and around. Well, there's a part in the video where I do a flip and I go around behind the building, but you don't see anyone flying there going behind the building. Now I had a helical on, which means it can punch through the building, and that's why I did it. But
Wow.
perfect example, if you go behind the building with DJI, your picture will freeze. And as you come from behind the building, it'll come back. As long as you don't drop, like Tom said, out of the air
Right, you keep
or
control.
panic.
Yeah.
Now, what I saw was a little snow and the horizon in the background. And I knew once I passed that side of the building, my video would came back nice and clean.
Right.
So
But you had to still steer. Nothing
yes,
magic
yes,
here.
yes,
You still
I
had to
did,
steer around the building. The
Right,
same
I
thing would
did
happen
do-
here.
which is
And
exactly
Stevie,
what I
with the
did.
new system, with GPS,
Yeah,
and
it'll
Hey,
say-
Rhino.
turn to home and all that other good stuff, just always like everything else, set your return to home altitude at an
Now,
adequate
Stevie,
height.
here's something that DJI promised, and they promised that the drone would be GPS fly GPS as well as acro. So now me thinking, like I always have my hand on the kill switch in case I see something, I can kill the motors and it'll drop out of the sky. Okay, I can't right now. Okay,
It'll drop out of the sky. You
I
said.
lost track what I was talking about.
No, you said the kill switch.
I have my hand on the kill switch on
Right.
the radio. Very nice. And they're showing me pictures of my new grandson.
No, this is him in live.
Okay, I'm doing it clean. I have this button set. This is an arming switch.
Yeah.
Okay, when I start when I flick this switch, the motor spin. When I kill this switch, the motor stop. Now, if DJI claims to have GPS on their bird, it would be like my kill switch, because if I lose video or it freezes, the first thing I'm going to do is flick this switch and my finger stays on it, which means it should go into GPS mode and stop right there where it is.
See, that's
Now, I
nice.
haven't
But right
seen-
now, you don't have that, right? With the
No,
GPS.
no, I have GPS rescue where I flick a switch and it goes up 100 feet, 200 feet, whatever it's programmed to. And then it starts heading back to you until you recover video signal.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what GPS rescue does on drones.
Yeah.
on FPV.
You'll have
Now,
that
you
feature
guys,
set on this.
right?
Yeah.
Now, you guys who fly camera drones, you'll know if your drone loses signal, what does it do? It'll stop where it is and go up to a certain height and turn around and head home, right?
Mhm.
So I'm assuming that there would have to be some kind of feature. Maybe it's a GPS rescue. I don't know. I don't have the bird. What's that, Herman?
On DJI drones, you still have some directional control once you lose the signal.
Yes.
Yes,
yes.
you
Oh,
actually
absolutely.
are
Yeah.
connected.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, you lose. There's two different signals we're talking about. There's a video feed, and then
Uh-huh.
there's the actual
The
control
radio.
signal.
Well,
The
actually,
You
radio.
lose the control
the
signal.
video feed
You lost
first.
it.
Yes.
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 Now I have a question, Lawrence.
You don't have to
Since
worry
you-
about losing the control signal from your radio. Usually
have-
it's video
Usually
that goes
not in
first.
that,
I have a question as an FPV pilot. What do you think the two Kens were talking about when they said FPV drone pilots will not like the new DJI FPV drone? How do you
Because-
think, like, what do you think they meant by that? Like the
Because of
flying
exactly-
skill?
I can explain that to you.
Because exactly. Go ahead, Herman.
I could explain that. It's just like you ever see like
Give me a
you
second. Let
learn
me
how
look
to
at my
drive a
grandson.
car.
Yeah, go
You
enjoy
learn
the
how to
photos.
drive a car, and then you see people who let the car teach them how to drive, such as backup cameras, the lane departure assist, and stuff like that. And then people stop looking and
They
doing
get
it the
on
right
anything
way
else.
because there are features on the car that enable them to be able to get away with being lazy. So it's the same thing with this drone here. Like guys who fly FPV, it's raw to the balls, straight out flying.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Whereas this, you
Hey,
got a little
drone.
assistance here and a little assistance there. And the regular FPV guy may not like that.
Oh, okay.
You know
Too
what I
many
mean?
training wheels. That's what
Right,
it
it's
is.
just like you ever see
taken
those
away.
people who back
Well,
up their
yeah,
car
I mean,
and they're looking at the backup camera instead of putting their damn arm over the seat
Yes.
in the car.
Yes.
Now, I got to ask you a question. Will this drone, with all the leaks and all the information coming out, will this drone have an option to just balls on the wall fly it without
Well,
all that
from what I
assist?
understand, Stevie, and this is only advertised. I have not flown one. I don't know anyone who's flown one yet. Okay, but from what I can tell you, you can almost guarantee Ken Dono is going to come out with a video about it because a lot of the reviewers have already had their versions and have been told to hold back on video footage, etc. But from what I can tell you, it promises GPS and full acro, and you cannot fly both at the same time.
Mhm.
Now, my understanding of GPS in an FPV drone, a DJI FPV drone, is completely different from GPS in one of these analog birds. With DJI, when you have GPS, you let go of this, you flick a switch or you let go of it. And if you're upside down, it should right itself and hover right there until you give it more stick input.
Okay.
I don't know if this is what they promise to do, but it would be a great handicap if you fly behind an object or somewhere or lose orientation in acro, which has happened to me. I've been upside down and be like, oh shit, where's this guy? You know, so it's
Okay.
we can only wait and see.
My thing is this.
Hey, Ivano, real photography.
If you consider acro, just you control everything,
Balls to
right?
the wall. Balls to the
No
wall.
GPS help. Acro is just straight up you controlling every little aspect of that flight, right?
The only time GPS works in this bird, Stevie, is when I flick a switch and it'll stop wherever it is or keep moving wherever it is and then rise up and turn towards home and start making a beeline back. And
Right.
that's only if you lose video. Your radio, like Tom said, there's two different signals. There's your radio signal, which way outextends your video. The first thing to go in the FPV bird is usually your video due to interference, obstructions, electrical wiring, etc.
So my thing is this though. They're promising us full acro and a GPS option, right? On the
Yes.
They
new
haven't
on the new
promised you
FPV.
anything yet.
Oh, all right. So no, they ain't promised nothing. So that was the
No.
rumor. But
Yeah.
if you go on full acro, FPV drone pilots would love that, right? Because you're controlling everything just like they're doing now with their
Yeah.
birds, the birds they make at home. in
And
the
for the
backyard.
beginner that may get in trouble, may have the option to flick a switch and say, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
But
But we
that's
don't
why,
know because we have not seen. This is only speculation.
right? And
because
that's why I question the acro option. Because if it did have acro, why would these guys that fly FPV make that statement that you're not going to like it? Why they
I'm
can't
going to
just flick
tell
a
you,
switch?
I'm going to, for exactly what I explained earlier. DJI distance is limited in comparison to analog.
Oh, okay. Distance might be the problem you're saying.
Yes.
Not the acro option.
No.
Okay.
Acro.
Because I
just
thought maybe
acro.
they added little training wheels to the acro as well. You know what I'm saying? Like did something that makes the acro not as fun. And
You
that's
see
why
what-
the FBI, nobody knows, but I'm just trying to analyze what they were saying and trying to
Right.
figure out, like, why wouldn't you like the FPV drone if you're FPV pilots? So I kind of analyze and trying to read between the lines because obviously, you know, they didn't explain in detail, but they said that and it caught me, you know, caught my eye. Like, why are they not
Well,
liking the FPV drone
like
as FPV pilots? I'm thinking that maybe the acro has a little training wheels to it as well to kind of save it from breaking every flight.
There's no, but see, this is the training wheel. If it is true, due to rumor, the training wheel will be that GPS option.
Right.
Now,
No, I
whether
understand
you
that
have
part.
to take, whether you can take off, it may be like this. I cannot take off until I acquire a certain amount of satellites. That's a safety feature because if you, like, you know, with camera drones, if you don't mark that home spot, it doesn't know where home is. Now I can turn off the GPS feature and launch as soon as I start the props, but there's no home location. You understand? Whereas with this DJI bird, and we'll probably get on to the next story, but with this DJI bird, I can almost guarantee you that you will not be able to take off without the same thing with this bird. If it doesn't have at least 7 or 8 satellites, it will not let you arm.
Right.
Because it needs to know where home is before it takes off, or else GPS
Stevie,
rescue is a waste of time.
Right. Gotcha.
So Stevie, to sum up, to answer your question, why these people are coming out and saying they don't like it, they're haters, dude. Pure and simple. Till we see what's out there. Till we see what's out there.
Right. And
Okay.
and
it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You got the
That's another
purist.
thing.
I mean,
I
look,
have
Stevie, when they came
Stevie
out with the
mentioned-
D1, the Nikon D1 camera, okay, the first digital SLR, right?
right.
If you were seen, you know, in the photojournalist circles with one of those, you were like, what are you think you're doing? You don't
Right.
come to this party with one of those. And then come on, remember all the, oh, you're using Photoshop. Oh, I'm a purist. I use film. Yeah, I use the darkroom. And I use chemicals to do the same thing now I can do with clean hands and without a respirator in
Yeah.
in Photoshop. So, you know, look, I'm looking at it this way. It's another, for me, it's another camera platform. Okay.
Right. The people
Would I
that
love to just have the
mentioned
skills, man? I've
may
been
have-
flying the
have seen
simulator.
it
I've been
already.
flying that little thing. But, you know, am I going to have the skills to come out and just whip it on just a bird I build myself? No. Number one reason, I don't want to build a bird.
Mhm.
I
Well,
don't
Tom, the
want to
people
tinker.
Stevie mentioned may
I
have
want to take this
had
thing
their
out of
hands
the
on it
box and give myself more options.
already. The
What
people,
was that, Herman?
the people Stevie mentioned may have had their hands on it already.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you know,
They did.
We're all making assumptions. We're all
No,
making
they
Well,
said-
no, I'm
they
just
said-
saying to you as far as
They said they had it.
Reviewers are concerned, and you know, these are people
Yeah.
who may have had their hands on it already. And
No. What
I
I'm talking
know-
about is
and we've had
both
yeah.
both the statements came from people that confirmed that they flew it. They said they couldn't say no more than that because they don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Right.
Both Kens. But the thing is this. All right, so we got past that. I just want to say, my opinion is, since there's so many DJI fans, a lot of people are gonna buy this drone and they're gonna find out it's not for them. And that
True.
drone is gonna go right back in the market.
True,
You're gonna
because-
see like a month or two later,
Stevie,
the market is gonna
yeah,
be
but you have
flooded
that
with
with-
pre-sales.
I've already
what you
seen
saw.
it. I've
Yeah.
already seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen people go from the DJI full system. They, you know, they have the CADX system that you can put in the FPV. I've
Right.
seen
Yeah,
them
yeah,
go
the air
from that
system, the air unit
back
and
to
all.
Crossfire because Crossfire has a better video signal, only as far as distance and going around objects. Now think about this too. All of you guys out there that fly camera drones know GPS is not 100% because if you get a GPS lock with magnetic interference in the area, sometimes your return to home point may not be home, because Justin was flying with us one time on the beach. I think you was there, Herman, and he hit return to home, and he was out over the water. His bird started heading out, went up, and started heading away from him.
Yeah.
And this was a DJI drone. So
I had my Phantom go crazy a few times. Like I had the satellites,
there's
and all of
no
a sudden the
100%.
satellites start dropping, and it started acting erratic. And
Guys,
I
there's
had to take
nothing
it out
but
of the
GPS. GPS is a very weak signal by the time it gets down to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without a high level of sophistication in the gear
we did
you're
a
using
story
to
on that.
receive the
We
signal.
did a story on that
Okay.
as well.
And so GPS jamming, GPS interference, GPS. It depends on where you are, and realize we have reflectivity. Okay. Also,
Yeah.
so if you're in the midst of a lot of high-rise buildings, okay, you're going to get some signal bouncing.
They could,
but
in FPV,
but
they call it
it's
multipathing.
yeah, and that's exactly the correct reference to it. But what you have to have is you have a level of redundancy. Now realize something. When you see how many satellites you connect to, you don't need all those satellites to connect to, but you better keep at least 11 on board.
That's true. And for those of you who don't know what multipathing is, I can give you
probably the safest number.
I can give you the perfect example, Tom, of multipathing. Okay, we're getting the cue to go next. Let me just get this in real quick, Herman. But those of you who have flown in Flushing Meadows Interference Park, we call it Flushing Meadows Corona Park, we call it Interference Park, you'll come to find out a lot of people would fly to the globe and wonder, this is an example of multipathing. Why, when they got close to the globe, they lost control. And what happens is your signal is going to the drone, signals coming from satellite, and your signal's actually bouncing off of the metal as well. So you may press forward.
Yeah, you get stuck behind the African continent, you got problems, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yes.
I think we've all been there, by the way.
That's multipathing, right? You go to press forward and it goes backwards, or you press left and it goes right, because the signal's bouncing off of the metal object as opposed to
right.
That's when the guy hits you with the controller. I can't tell what my drone is doing. Where is it?
Yeah.
Take it up for me.
Okay, next story.
Yeah, guys, listen here. Nordic Unmanned has acquired 2 Camcopter S100 systems. With the first two the first one delivered 2 weeks ago, and another to join in the second quarter of 2021. The acquisition came after successful sulfur sniffing operations in Denmark and France. Now, the Camcopter was also recently operated for the world's first full-scale offshore UAV cargo delivery. Now, this was at active oil and gas platforms in Norway. And both of them were carried out by Nordic Unmanned and Schiebel, which are both under contract with the EMSA, which is the European Maritime Safety Agency. Now, the reason why I like this story is that, we've talked about 101 different, drones that are out there that are trying to get certification and airworthiness, and that they're trying to use for different things. But this drone right here has been working. It keeps coming up and it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up. I saw it the first time. I believe it was used because there was some chemical spilled over in some Asian waters. It was the first time I saw this. And then I saw the story about when they used it for the sulfur sniffing operations. Then it came back. Now I saw it again here for this here, that they acquired 2 of them for their sulfur sniffing missions.
For those of you who want to know what
just keeps
sulfur
coming up.
sniffing is, for those cargo ships and container ships that are out there, well, they tend to run on a different fuel from passenger ships, and the sulfur emissions are so strong, according to whatever organization that in the EU that monitors that, this bird can tell you just like your car has certain emissions, ships have different emissions. And it can tell you if your sulfur footprint is too high, then there's a problem.
Yeah,
You know?
basically that's what it's doing, and they're going to use it for sulfur sniffing missions
So it's
make
got
it
a
comply.
it's got a 15-kilometer range, so it's going to be used for what's called littoral or littoral waters. Okay, not open ocean type of enforcement.
Yes, and
So especially the Scandinavian countries, remember the amount of shoreline that exists around these Scandinavian countries, and they rely heavily on maritime for survival.
right.
So the worst thing you can do is screw up your environment because she's not going to feed you. So this is basically used to go out, and all there are regulations based on countries, but you're right, Herman. The EU itself has regulations, just like we have the Clean Air Act. You know, here, if you're a ship coming into our ports or within our U.S. waters, and you're emitting, high levels of sulfur, you're going to get yourself tagged by the U.S. Coast Guard here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, these things serve as monitoring platforms, and they're a lot more effective and a lot more cost effective in operation.
True. True.
Than trying to board.
You don't have to put probes out at one time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they used to actually drop a sensor from a plane and drop it through an area, and it would sniff the air on its way down. This particular camcopter, not only can it sniff certain odors and chemicals out of the air, but it has a ceiling of 18,000 feet,
Yes.
which is interesting because this is no low-flying bird except when it has to. So you figure most delivery drones, this drone has a cargo compartment for carrying equipment to offshore rigs and stuff like that, tools, medical supplies. So it's a multifunctional bird.
Well, yeah, that's why
if you go down to the bottom of the article, you could see where
world's
some of
first
the information.
offshore, the world's first offshore.
Hey, Michael Blade.
Cargo delivery is what I mentioned.
Right, and they were doing it over water for a while.
Yes, but I'm saying this is what I said. It keeps constantly coming up in news stories. All of the work is being done with this specific drone, whereas that most of the other ones are still trying to get airworthiness, or they're trying to get past certain things.
Exactly. So now that
see what Tom's doing? That's what DJI does.
Put up on the screen or a bit. What was that? What was that now? What I do?
No, I said, see, you did a max headroom and you were like,
oh, okay.
See, we all have OcuSync. He doesn't.
That must be what it is. Yeah, I'm paying for Verizon gigabit service.
Trust me. I'm just happy that mine isn't doing that now.
Nah, mine was doing it, and I had to restart everything.
But I've been restarting.
You guys get me okay now, or what?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
So I was going to say, just to give this, because the images you put up on the screen are a bit deceiving.
This is the video.
Just to give you a scale of what the size of this is. Yeah, go ahead and throw that up if you can.
Yeah, give me a second.
Just some interesting information when you talk about it. I'm a geek for specs. But
you can stand next to
this thing's no lightweight, by the way.
Wait a minute. Here's the perfect picture, Tom.
This thing is 200 and
there it is.
This thing is 242 and a half pounds.
There you go.
Okay.
Baby elephant.
And by the way, I was wrong in my statement. It's got. Where's the video?
Yeah.
Video.
That's the actual in comparison. You figure that's an average size man, and it's shorter than he is. It's about waist high on him.
Where is it?
Oh, welcome back, Tom.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys a general idea.
No. I was.
Light
I was looking for the video he was putting up. I was swiping away.
Here. I'll put it back. I'll put
the no, I didn't see the video. You never posted the video.
Oh yeah, the link is in the
here we go.
In the chat there.
Okay. So gang, this thing is 242 and a half pounds. Okay. So you're not
And
taking
can
it out of
fit in
the
the
back of your
back of your
SUV by
pickup truck.
yourself. Yeah. You better be
Okay.
towing it. It's got a range of 112 miles and a top speed of 138 miles an hour.
I want to
It's got
fly.
an 11-foot wingspan. Okay. And see if people remember this. It's got a Wankel engine.
The
Remember the
Wankel? God bless
Wankel
you.
engine, rotary compression
Sounds like-
engine. Yeah.
Sounds like you're sneezing, Wankel.
It's a Wankel rotary, compression engine.
Oh,
So-
wow, show, that's not nice. He says, wow, it weighs exactly one mother-in-law.
Wow. Wow. Let's hope she's not in the chat.
Yeah, don't be taking
Oh,
her off the tailgate
Oh,
of the
you're
pickup.
home by yourself.
She
That's
won't
okay.
appreciate it.
He's not on cam, but I'm sure he just got smacked in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder, is
You're gonna
this
see the
one
chat stop.
I think I can buy this. I think
gotta
I can
go,
buy this
guys.
online, but I think I have to put down $100 reservation fee and wait 2 years before I get it, right? Oh no, that was a previous drone we were
Camcopter?
talking about. Oh, that was
Yeah.
a previous drone we were talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh, you want a Camcopter or you want one of the FPV joints?
I'm gonna buy one of those too, man.
Okay.
I've been
because-
scratching some tickets.
No,
I'm gonna be
because-
hitting it soon. So
No, because I was checking out Drone Life and
I'm looking to buy something else, Herman. I think you're gonna talk about soon. Okay. So
Terrafugia has something
Rob,
coming
Welsh
right
Rob
your
says,
way.
how was it classed as a drone?
What?
The Camcopter. How was it?
it's not an SUAS. Okay. Remember, there's categorizations here.
Yes.
Okay. So this is an air carrier type of device. So it's not an SUAS, it's a UAS. That's how it's categorized. And again, remember, it's not bound by FAA. This is we're talking about
Well, there it's
a Nordic based device. So you were saying, Herman, my next toy or next acquisition, if I can scratch one of those $5,000 a day for life tickets, okay, go for it.
Well, Terrafugia has something here that that we've all seen, and I thought it was really crazy. Road and air vehicle gets FAA airworthy certification.
Is
The
George
ultimate-
Jetson?
I can show this
ultimate
while you're talking,
high-
Herman.
Go ahead. The ultimate
ahead.
hybrid for urban air mobility. Now we keep coming up with this urban air mobility because they're talking about the future. Now, urban air mobility could be the way of the future. Terrafugia road-able aircraft has received an FAA special lightweight sport airworthiness certification.
So
Yeah,
that means
guys,
that-
put it up
that
on
means
the
that
screen.
Yes.
That means
Let's get
that
this
it
up on the
is one
screen.
step
Oh, I'm
closer
sorry. Duh.
to getting into the hands of consumers.
Nope.
Now, this is the
There she
Terrafugia's
goes.
There
drone
it
that
is.
has just gotten this new airworthiness certification for lightweight sport
Aircraft.
There
aircraft.
she is right there.
That's correct.
And
You don't see that every day.
The FAA approved it.
woo, she's completed 80 days of flight testing, delivering 150 technical documents and successfully passing the FAA audit. So it
Yes,
is one
so-
step closer to being able to be sold to somebody with deep pockets.
Yes.
Well, it won't
but
be as bad as you think, by the way.
I'm not
Okay,
getting one.
so if I can give you some scale here, a light sport pilot is a certification that you would get to fly something that you cannot carry more than a single passenger with
Mhm.
and never for hire. Okay.
Okay.
It's not an ASEL, which is Part 61, aircraft
just
single
you and a
engine
friend.
light. This is actually a recreational aircraft. It's not an ultralight or anything like that. This is a real aircraft.
yes.
Now, it got certification under FAA light sport aircraft, okay, which means you can make alterations to this without going through a whole rigmarole.
Mhm.
But The other thing is that you can't carry anybody for hire in this aircraft.
Right.
It's a pusher prop, folding wing design,
Yes.
tandem vertical stabilizes. So pretty stable, I would say. But it does not have FMVSS certification as a ground vehicle. So you cannot currently register it as a motor vehicle. Right. So right now, the nice thing about it is you could definitely pull it up on a flatbed quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Drive
But
it
light sport aircraft, think about, so probably in all likelihood, this is using like a Rotex 914 turbo engine, which is a gasoline engine.
Yes.
Probably capable of speeds up to about 140 knots,
Hey,
I would
Bill.
imagine. But probably
Yes, so it does still require a license.
Yeah,
Yes.
it requires a light sport pilot certification. So here's the difference. A light sport pilot certification doesn't require a medical certificate.
Right.
Okay.
You can
A few
watch
years
the
back,
video
I
in
had open
detail
heart
later.
surgery, so I can't maintain currency as an ASCL, but I can get my light sport pilot certification. And again, you can carry another passenger. The aircraft will actually have a placket on it that says it's experimental.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it said that on the side of this.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did say that.
So if you want to see a lot of light sport pilot flying, check out a YouTube channel by Trent Palmer. Okay. Trent flies with the Flying Cowboys out in Nevada.
Okay.
So, but this is very interesting. The folding wing concept, it's nice.
Yeah.
Will I see a lot of these on the road? Probably not.
Probably not.
No, but you'll see a lot of them in
Okay.
the air because
What I would want to see, well, it depends. What I would
living
want
out
to
on
see
the
is
guys who live out in the Hamptons who fly their little kit helicopters. I could see a few of them flying over my.
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
then again, remember, this isn't. You're not going to be taking the LIE, dude.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Long Island Expressway for those Parkway.
Yeah.
This is still, look, a light sport aircraft, say like, a Kit Fox with a 914 Rotex engine, your rollout should be about 350 to 400 feet. Can you do it in about 120, 130 feet? Yeah. And get airborne? Sure. Okay. But in this, you're more likely to need the 300 to 400 roll up to try to get airborne, maybe even a little more. I haven't seen the specs on that yet. Okay. I don't know what the stall speed on this is. Look, you're still going to need to go through pilot certification to fly this car.
Oh, yeah.
Pure and simple. Okay. Now, price tag, I can get a brand new Kit Fox pre-built for me from the factory with a turbo in it for about anywhere from 125 to 140. I can buy a used one for about 70 to 80. I can build one for about 60 to 70. That's if I have 1,800 hours.
Well, see, Tom, that's
and then the nice thing about the pre-built is you go through all the FAA cert with the factory and not with yourself.
True. True. Exactly. It's similar to like FPV. For example, if you build a drone like this, Tom, I've seen this particular drone, depending on parts, if you buy it completely built, go anywhere from $600 to about $1,100. If you build one, you could probably build one for about $455. I've seen people do it as low as 700. But like you said, you would want something like that factory built.
No, but there's plenty of people.
Tom, you know how we old men are. There's always a screw left over.
Well, look. The thing is that these are professional kits, okay? But what really comes into play is sweat equity. What is your sweat equity worth, right? Okay. This is going to be pre-built for you. This isn't going to come in a kit. This one won't come in a kit. But a Kit Fox, a Carbon Cub, those you can buy them as kits. But you're talking about a 1, 2, 3 year build time. before you're in the air. I'm a fan of instant gratification.
Right.
Now, what's similar about stuff you would see like up on Trent Palmer's site or the Flying Cowboys site is they use regular unleaded gas. So there's a funny video that Trent has out there that they're up, they basically people get together at a certain lat and long up in the sky, and then they go fly in the ravines and the bluffs and water ski across the little rivers and creeks.
Right.
But there's a funny one where they're flying and all of a sudden they spot an Amoco station in the middle of the desert with an Arby's attached to it. And they go ahead and they land on the local highway and they pull their planes over, grab some roast beef sandwiches, okay, and then come out and push their planes up to the pumps and refuel.
And refuel them.
So, and refuel. 87 octane in a 914. Okay. So that's all you need.
No, nah, it's not for me.
No,
Stevie.
You can come down to Grand
Take it.
Land by Yankee Stadium.
And come right out over the stadium.
Get my hubcap stolen.
Yeah. I wouldn't be street parking this bad boy.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need
turn. Come over.
In the video that I posted.
So the level set for people.
But in the video that I posted, I'll post the link. Put the link again. But they did show it in an average. Well, it wasn't an average garage because the height was higher. But he did show it in a garage parked next to a car. The ceiling was a little high. The ceiling was a little higher in the garage, but
listen, I was on one of those ships when they had Fleet Week here, when we were able to go on the ships.
Yeah.
And see how those helicopters just and slide into that little. That was amazing.
I spent several years on one of those.
And they got two of them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. But the military builds things to do that.
Do you realize Navy aircraft have flown? There have been a couple of flights recorded with wings folded. Okay, accidentally. Okay, and it's happened. It's even happened with an F-18. So, the nice thing about folding wings is you can fit a lot up on the carrier deck and on the hangar deck.
Yeah.
But you always got to remember, get those wings locked up before taking off. Okay.
You better.
Life on board a carrier is a unique experience, that I can say.
You said you spent 7 years on one?
Not 7. I spent several years.
Several. Okay.
I was a corpsman. I was an air sea rescue corpsman on a Sea King. And life on a carrier is no dream, baby. Okay. 5,000 sailors on board a carrier.
They say you have a better chance crossing an expressway in the United States than you do on the top.
Oh, the flight deck's a dangerous place. Well, flight deck's a dangerous place if you're a knucklehead and you don't have your head on a swivel.
Okay.
But you learn real quick to have your head on a swivel. Survival of the fittest. But the good thing about being in an air wing is when you pull into a port, imagine what it's like to run Liberty boats for several thousand sailors. Well, when you're in an air wing,
imagine what it is.
You fly off to the air base instead.
Okay. I was going to say, Tom, imagine what it's like bringing the boat back with the sailors.
Hey, listen, Geeksvana,
partying all night.
Let me tell you, when we build aircraft here, these aircraft last for decades, bro. Okay, he said, Sean is saying, who would have thought we would have be seeing F-15 Strike Eagles being delivered in 2021? Military aircraft, man. You check out. Look at the B-52. It's still flying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
It's still flying. It's older than me, man. Okay. So you get what you pay for. But here's how we screw you. See, we handle it differently than the Chinese. When we sell you the aircraft and we don't want you to fly it anymore, we just stop selling you parts. Okay.
Just continue.
We just discontinue those parts.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep. Just continue.
There's still
Sorry,
F-14.
you need a new one.
There's still F-14 Tomcats sitting in Iran that look almost brand new, except they can't fly them. They don't have any parts. Let's keep them up in the air. Okay.
Sorry, discontinued. You got to buy the new model.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, when
Hey,
you
what's
pay
up, ABQ?
tens of millions of dollars for a single aircraft, yeah, it better last a while.
Yeah.
One would hope.
Last a while.
Just
You
stop
gotta
sending
hope.
me firmware updates.
Dude, you don't know about the military, do you? Okay. I've been on a flat top when pilots have punched out of the box because they didn't get up. Somebody wrote the weight down wrong on the nose gear door. Okay.
Oh, get
total
out.
ordnance of fuel. And when the catapult officer plugs those numbers in for the steam for the catapult, if things aren't right, the pilot has like a split second to realize they got a choice of either punching out while still
While still
on the deck
descending.
or riding it down. Okay, remember it's basically a 0-0 seat, so they could punch out at 0 speed, 0 altitude, and survive the ejection.
Right.
But now, do you want to ride it down? And remember, there's an aircraft carrier coming up your rear end. Okay.
True.
Or punch out and wind up. One of the worst places to land is on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier because you got prop spinning, okay, in 2 different directions. So you got a helo on the deck on hot standby with prop spinning, because you got one up in the airplane plane guard, and then you have aircraft S3 Vikings with propeller spinning. You have jet intakes on the flight deck. So when somebody punches out of the box on the flight deck, everybody just stops what they're doing and everybody looks to the sky, because what you want to do is you want to grab that pilot when he comes down and hold on to him, because the worst thing is for him to get sucked into a prop or,
That's crazy.
Engine, a jet engine.
See, I never thought about that, Tom. The fact that now I've seen videos where guys didn't have enough catapult pressure and the plane went down like this. And I never thought about that big ass aircraft carrier barreling down on you as you're floating there in the water. Because you can't stop those skyscrapers laying on the side on a dime.
No, and you don't realize how
for
fast
about a quarter mile before they stop.
Yep.
You know,
just slide.
When you see a skyscraper going through water at 30 knots, it's an incredible scene, man. Okay. Aircraft carriers can book, baby. And they don't have a registered top speed. That's because, that's classified. But it's a unique experience. You can't
stop on a dime.
I knew of somebody who went UA or AWOL on board ship and actually was gone for 31 days. Okay. Stayed fed and everything, because he walked around with a helmet and a clipboard checking fire hose fittings, and would work his way up to the mess decks on occasion. And they were already making notifications to alert his family that he had been lost at sea. And of course, he had to turn himself in.
Herman is. Hold on a second. And
that's how big aircraft carriers are.
Herman does not have super chat because he's not monetized. But in the About Me section on his page, he does have a PayPal link. Unfortunately.
Well, it's on the channel art too. You can find
it. Yes, on the channel art. If you go to Herman's main screen, in the upper left-hand corner, you will see, I'm hoping I'm pointing right in the upper, so you guys see it in the upper left-hand corner. You'll see a PayPal link, sir.
I don't post it.
The funniest thing with YouTube is, right, no matter how many times they think about it, they always point at the wrong place.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just put it over there.
Because I forget my camera. My camera.
You forget the mirror. Yeah. You forget the mirror. But we got to do a story. We got to do a story soon on some of the drones the Navy is starting to fly off of aircraft carriers. That'll be a good one, Herman.
Send us some stuff. Stuff.
We'll find some stuff. Find some stuff.
We can do some stuff.
Well, guys are always looking to the biggest issues, like that we started off the story with. Well, I don't know if that was an issue of I don't care, or if it was an issue of I don't know. But guys have always been looking for the best way to find out where I can and cannot fly, and different tools that are out there for it, and for getting advisories and things like that. Well, now we all know about that app on our phone, B4UFLY. Well, now is B4UFLY Web.
Yes.
And Seahawk has announced enhancement desktop functionality The CEO, John, what's his name? Lawrence. He great.
It's Egrins, Egrins,
Egret
Egrins,
announced
Egrins, tomato, tomato.
Yo, Herman,
John.
Herman,
newest
wrong.
John.
You're wrong.
advances.
Let's just say John.
Yeah, John.
Herman's getting no clearance moving forward. Everything's gonna be red on his screen after they see this.
Tom, you're muted, Tom. Tom, you're muted.
I said Lawrence is on a first name basis on all these news stories.
Listen. After a beer,
Herman is done.
you don't want to try and pronounce this dude's name.
Herman is done.
But it's spelled Heagranes. So Hegranes,
Hegranes.
tomato. I call him John.
He
That's
great.
his first name.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's announced the newest advancing before you fly. You know, it's FAA Kitty Hawk's advanced intelligence tool.
Yes.
Before
Here's
you
the link.
fly web. Now, the announcement says that before you fly will enable.
Go ahead, Herman. I'm going to pull it up.
I am. It will enable convenient pre-flight planning, airspace advisories, and social sharing and more. Now, one of the things that was interesting in this article, it talks about the fact that there was 14,000 Lance authorizations in January of this year alone, with 50% of them coming from the United States.
This is the actual app. I put the link.
You know, so I found that this was very interesting. Guys should jump on this to be able to use it. I haven't got.
Well, here's a couple of good features, right?
When it's able, yeah.
So the nice thing about now having like a desktop version, aka
you don't have no damn excuse.
Is you don't, right? That's right. But you can pre-plan.
Right.
You know, that's
what it's good for.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just typed
I
in
don't know
Arizona.
about. I go through and Stevie, you probably do similar things, right? I mean, what I do is I check the sectional maps, make sure there's nothing around me that I would have to worry about.
Right.
I look at Google Maps. I go to Google Earth.
Yes.
I check before you fly. I check Air Map, and I do all my intel, beforehand, the recon beforehand. I get everything laid out, and then now the nice thing is instead of using before you fly on a mobile device, okay, now with the extended feature set, I can set up and I can pre-plan, and I can even make notification NOTAMs, okay, and I can do my LANC also through this.
Yep.
So, you know,
I suggest, go ahead, Tom.
It's something that you have to educate yourself about. If you want to know where to fly, is it legal here? What do I have to be concerned about? Just because it's Class B, like where, those
like
of us
New York City,
panel,
I'll pull it back up.
Stuck,
I'll pull it back up, Tom, to show our area
someplace,
what
right?
we have to deal with.
Yes,
but
that's
that doesn't mean we can't fly. It means we can fly up
within a ceiling,
above a certain altitude. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Remember, Class B airspace is like an inverted wedding cake.
Exactly.
I want to explain to you guys exactly what Tom is saying. Right now, this is a 5-mile radius of the airport, but I get clearance. And if you watch my YouTube videos, you'll see I get clearance to fly all along this beach here because of the fact at certain points and depending on where the planes are coming in and landing, they will give you a certain altitude that you can fly up to. So, for example,
right by that bridge,
right from where Stevie, where you were,
that's
where
like a 200-foot.
We were right
ceiling.
here.
Yeah.
Right. That's the spot where we were. And it'll say, yes, we are in Class B airspace. LaGuardia is there, et cetera, but we had a ceiling that we could not pass. You remember, Steve?
Yep. You got to get approval, but you can fly under the ceiling, and the ceiling is really low in comparison to where the planes are flying.
What I like about this app more so is, like Tom said, you not only can you pre-plan your flight, but there are no longer excuses. And as far as a few 107 pilots I know that actually take laptops with cell service, now you can use this app instead of trying to look at your phone. You can say, I'm going to be in this area. Let me
Sean-
check out the area.
Sean from Geeks Vana said someone commented on one of his videos the other day that they walk into the field, look up around me, and then fly. We got plenty of people like that, Sean.
We have
Plenty
them
of people
in every
here
country.
too. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
no,
They
here,
probably even do this.
Sean, I'll take you one further. Here's what they do. They walk into the area, look up, see it's dangerous, and then fly.
Well,
Okay.
like Tom
That's
was
what we
saying
do here.
before, I ended one of my videos discussing what Tom was saying, how we plan out everything. We use the Google Earth and the B4UFLY. We use all the apps. And then we figure out what we're going to do. When you see us do those morning flights, we already know where we're parking, where we could go, where we can't go, what kind of class airspace. That's why, more or less, because of all the changes, you see most of my photos and most of my videos, they've been going a lot more north for the city. Because I just, sometimes you don't want to have to go through all, like jumping through all the hoops.
Right.
I just want to fly. And there's so many great places to fly. You just might have to invest like 45 minutes or 35 minutes.
And the perfect example you're talking about, Stevie, I'm going to pull it up. Like this black dot is my house right here. Okay, it says you're in controlled airspace. Yes, but it's yellow, not red. Now, what Stevie's talking about is going up here, Eastchester,
look at that.
White Plains, Tarrytown. Isn't that where the Headless Horseman was?
Yep.
Spring Valley, Mount Kisco.
The
Now,
cemetery.
if you don't want to leave Brooklyn, you have this whole area right here to fly in. This includes Coney Island, which is outside of this bubble, this 5-mile radius. So if you guys are wondering how the hell we do so much flying here in New York, legally, and I stress legally, this is how we make it happen.
Well, Lawrence, go back to that where you were here in this red section.
Right here.
Go, move it back over to where you see some of the G space in Brooklyn.
Yes, right here.
The
okay.
sections
now,
of Coney Island.
Stop right here.
Calvin Park.
You see where this starts right here?
Yeah.
This starts right along, right in here is Garrison.
Yes, Garrison Beach, right here.
Yep, right there.
Right there. And they have an
right on the other
airfield
side.
In that red section. But there's an allowance for the airfield over here.
It's called the fixed site.
Yes,
It's a fixed site, so that allows it. Okay. Now,
this is Coney
guys.
Island.
Yes, that's Coney Island.
I know a lot of people question Coney Island. I'm glad you showed that. We fly a lot there.
It's
do not fly on Coney Island
between
between Memorial Day and Labor Day, of course. But
yes,
outside of that,
the beach season, correct, Tom.
How about it?
New York aquariums right here. And Tom, you mentioned something very important.
Right there
a lot of people don't know when you can fly and when you can't along the beach in New York, the beaches in New York City. And like he said, Memorial Day starts the summer season and Labor Day ends it. Now, you still may get some authoritative figures from the Parks Department. They may tell you cannot fly here, but once you show them that you're registered, like Stevie, we told you about Blondie, right? The chick that rides up and down the beach. Everyone knows her. She knows me. She loves her some Anthony Charles. I mention Anthony Charles and she just starts blushing. But the point I'm making is when you know where you're flying, it makes that much more of a difference.
So these are things that I've been doing for many years. I mean, just as a photographer, I would always research the location I was going at. Google Earth is great, right, Stevie? I mean, you can plan out your flight. You can figure out what angles you're looking for.
Even where you're going to park and everything.
Yeah, all of that. That's always important, right? How far do I have to trek in?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have to worry about when I trek in, right?
Yeah.
But let me give you another tip. I'm going to, in fact, post it real quick. As a photographer, and Stevie mentioned this, sunrise and sunset, where is it coming from? What are my angles going to be? I just posted something. It's called the Photographer's Ephemeris. I've been using this for probably 15 to 20 years, but it allows me to
Is that the app that tells you the exact angle of the sun and all of that?
The angle of the sun and the moonrise and how that angle but it goes a lot further than that. So I'll give you a quick story. Out in the Southwest, I get the wife up super early to go out there because I want to capture the sunrise and how the sun plays across Red Rock. We get out there and sunrise. What the light I was looking for actually didn't come for another 45 minutes. So my wife reminded me that was an extra 45 minutes worth of sleep she could have gotten. Okay. And it turns out in the photographer's ephemeris, you can even identify mountain ranges that might block your sunrise.
Okay.
Okay. So that you can plot the light coming across your field of view. I mean, that's what we're all out there for, right,
Yeah.
Stevie? We're out there for that golden glow coming across. And the photographer's ephemeris is a great tool. There's a free version, there's a paid version. It'll work on your iPad or your iPhone. I have it on my iPhone as well. So when I'm out there, I can figure out. And a lot of times, how many times are you able to get that shot? I got a stunning shot out in Sedona with this church built into the side of a mountain. And the moon was illuminated behind it. And it was daytime.
Nice.
Okay. And the only way you get those shots is planning. Okay.
It
I
is.
knew where the
That's-
moon was going to be.
Tom, that's
Okay.
what it's all about. Unfortunately, we are not like others who just say, I'm going to fly today and I'm going to be in this spot. We actually do the research. If you look at Herman's videos, Tom's videos, Stevie's videos, even my older camera drone videos, you can see we plan this stuff out. And you can tell that stuff is planned out because there are no people around. And if there are, you're not flying over them or cars.
Right.
And I have to stress that because a lot of people here in New York City, and I'm not going to mention names or anything because that's unnecessary. But there's a lot of, not just New York City, but around the United States, pull out their drone and say, I'm going to fly today. And someone says where, and it's like they throw a dart at the map and say there.
It does happen a lot.
So we have to stress, if you want to be a successful camera drone pilot and or FPV pilot, you need to plan your flights. Herman and I'll tell you a quick story how we became those guys, because Herman and I were flying and we would tell people, okay, we're going to Croton Gorge tomorrow, and someone would go there tonight. So we stopped letting them know.
I remember.
We would
Remember there was a lot of that going on.
Right. So we would stop
funny.
letting people know where we were flying.
Hilarious.
And then one time a gentleman that flew with us on a regular or would meet up with us had went away for a while or wasn't flying for a while. And he went to a specific group of people and they were like, where you been, man? He's like, oh, I was flying with Herman and Lawrence. So the individual said, oh, you flying with those guys. So we kind of took it and ran with it. And that's basically what it is. Herman and I stopped letting people know where we were flying. And then it came to the point where they were having meetups in places where we had been already, where Herman and I do the research, where Tom does the research, where Stevie, Capture Life Connection, does research. They weren't going and doing this research. They just wait and see what videos we had and then go fly there. But I just wanted to bring that up really quick. I had to get it out of my system. Hey, Logan Carpenter.
Well, there was an advisory that was brought to my attention that
guys, look at this.
Issued on February 1st.
It's snowing outside.
Got snow
again.
February 1st.
They said Thursday.
Year. It's about 8 chapters, and Tom was the one that actually brought it to my attention. I was asking if he wanted to brief us on it if he had checked it out. I started reading it. I didn't get.
I got you, Rob.
What happened, Rob?
No, Rob was sending me his personal information. I was just letting him know I got it.
Tom, if there's enough time left.
So, just real quick, and if you can, Herman, you might want to put up the link to the document.
Yes, it's about 20-something pages. It was.
Yeah. So, Part 107 has a new
I have it. Give me a second.
Advisory circular out.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's part 107-2A. And this is now highlighting the flight above people, the flight above vehicles.
Yep.
Is all detailed in there. The night flight requirements outside of civil twilight are all identified now in this document. So the other telling thing
Is this it?
Hey,
If
Bob
not,
Casey.
I will change
It's a
it.
PDF.
yes,
Let's get to it
yes.
from that.
Yeah. Yep,
Yes.
that's it. They can get to it from there. So you can
Okay,
post
cool.
that. It's
Just
always
up
better
on the
to go.
bottom.
It's always better to go to the source because if the FAA changes anything, you get in the latest
Yeah,
document.
exactly.
Okay?
So I'll
Right.
put the
So-
link in the stream.
Yeah. So
At the bottom there where it has the AC 107.
Right here, AC 107-2A. You click that link. It's a PDF you can download to your machine. I'll put the link in the chat. Hey, Bob Casey, how are you? There you go.
So this is going to lay out a lot of what we talked about a week and a half ago. Categorizations of the drones, what you can, how you can fly above people, which categories are allowed to fly above people. Keep one thing in mind. The aircraft has to be protected, the blades have to be protected so that they cannot inflict laceration on human skin. Okay?
Mhm.
But and then there are requirements for whether people are advised or aren't advised when you're flying over vehicles. So it's a document you should learn, go through, understand. It is impacting. Here's the other thing.
It makes
Here's
for
the other
some
thing to
interesting
keep in
reading.
mind.
It's
Definitely.
informative reading.
But the other thing that you should keep in mind is the fact that it has clearly identified remote ID takes effect September 2023. Okay.
September 2023.
Yes. So you still
Mark it on
have
your
a
calendar.
couple of years before
30
you have
months.
to go, I'm not listening to the FAA. I'm not
30
doing this.
months.
Damn it. You're going to listen if you want to fucking fly.
Legally.
And
Well,
believe
we can
me,
still fly.
your
Yeah,
Autel 2
yeah.
will have to have a broadcast module in it. So
Yes. So all of you that have the orange flu, I like
The
that.
orange flu.
I like that.
What, the king of drones?
For those of you who have the orange flu and want to get pictures of the Statue of Liberty's, like Eddie Nunez says, the Statue of Liberty's armpits and nasal hairs, that will soon come to an end.
You guys are
Oh,
crazy.
Plain and simple. It'll come to an end.
What's the famous quote that's going around? Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. That's
So
crazy.
if you want to fly legally and the right way, you'll have to comply. As the Borg on Star Trek says, resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. And if you want to fly, you'll assimilate to the legal way of flying. Plain and simple.
yeah, if we plan on enjoying this activity and continued enjoyment of this activity, we are
And
going to
for
have to
those-
comply with the rules.
And for those of you who are wondering about flying FPV, and I don't have to put a chip in, well, most of the boards now, most of the stacks are coming with Bluetooth and other ways of broadcasting your localized area. And for those of you who say, I don't have a cell phone signal, well, you're going to be required to turn on the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth to whatever you're flying. So you may be limited, but you will be broadcasting. It will come to an end, but we will continue to see 6 posts a day. Eddie, stop it. Stop it. No, I hate
But you know, it's like
Guys,
anything
being
else.
mean.
That would be your legacy. That's all. Me,
Yeah.
I mind my business. I'm like, listen, you do you, but don't try to check anybody else on what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right,
people
right.
like doing that, and then they want to check everybody else on other
Don't
things.
forget to re-register your drones. Mine was about to
Listen.
lapse. I just happened to think
They'll
about
send you an
that.
email. As long as your email's current, they'll send you an email to remind you.
Stevie, I live by the motto of the bully is not allowed to say, why'd you hit me?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
When he's getting his ass off the floor.
Yes, it's true. It's very, very true.
Appreciate that, Bob Casey. And also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up.
Yes, Bob
That like
Casey's
button
in the
too.
building.
Yes.
Okay.
I think tonight was a
Feel
very
free.
good stream. I'd said I'd rather enjoy tonight myself.
Yes.
There were a few pokes and stabs, but
Thanks
no
for hanging
names
out
were
with us.
mentioned. No names were mentioned, and it was all done in good fun and
Be
entertainment.
happy you can still poke and stab.
Ariel,
Okay?
Gary,
Yes.
As long as the
Hey.
poker keeps working, I keep a smile on my face.
Listen,
It's
hey
that
Tom, there was a cartoon that I did.
No matter what you
wish,
say, Welsh
I-
Rob.
Yo, the
I
Wanko,
wish I could apply.
I like that one, Tom.
the
I like that
Wanko
one.
engine. Your Wanko
Hey Tom, there's a cartoon out there
engine.
with an old man with a cane, and they think he's a grumpy old man, and all he does is walk around the people, and when they're about to do something, like a guy's about to steal a cookie or something out the cookie jar, the old man comes out of nowhere and goes whack with his cane. No, I wish you could do that, but you get arrested for it.
Hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Wow. It's that time, guys.
Yes, it is.
Fun had to end while it was going good.
You end on a high note, bro.
Yeah,
End on a
hey,
high note.
I'm
There
not
you go.
complaining.
We had a great
I
show
just want to
tonight.
thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Hanging out
Always a
with here
blast.
and
Thank you
with the
for
nice-
having us.
well, you're welcome. But we always have a great bunch of people, in the chat, watch, and whoever's watching in the back, Thank you, because like we always say, or I always say, without you, none of this would be possible. And guys, thank you once again. And everyone in the chat, thank you. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight
Don't forget to come through on Sunday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
with those guys.
Stay safe, everybody.